was never a problem. Why? Because you knew you were going to eventually arrive at that day, and that day was yesterday. And it didn't happen on a piece of paper. It happened on a playing surface. How was Michigan going to pull off the upset? Well, it's quite simple, but it's also a little more nuanced than how simple it is to say. To pull off something impossible, all a team has to do is do things that they haven't done all season. There's a big difference between have not and cannot. And if you watched the Thursday edition of Late Kick, this does not sound foreign to you. Colin, get the sound ready. 3, 2, 1, roll it.
I am looking at Michigan, and the question I would love to see answered in the definitive for them is, does their passing game show up? I got to be honest with you. Like, I've been sky high on them all year. I've been a little disappointed in the development or lack thereof in what I thought was going to be a great receiver room for them this year. But here's the thing. Going into a game like this, the guys are still there. Ronnie Bell's still in there. The potential and the reasons I thought that room had potential, they're still there. It just takes one four-quarter game. It just takes 2 or 3 explosive plays in a 4-quarter game for you to think about the rest of the year and say, who cares? We won the games without them doing it. But boy, when they did it on this Saturday, that's when we needed it the most. So I'm thinking about that.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference.
There you go.
Capella University sees education differently. Our FlexPath learning format lets you set deadlines and earn your nursing degree on your schedule.
5 of them. 5 plays of 45 yards or more. I think 4 of them of 69 yards or more. That's all it took. That's the difference in the game. You can break it down 9 ways from Sunday, and we kind of will in just a second. But that was the long and short of it. Had you seen that all year? Number one, you hadn't seen it from Michigan. You hadn't seen them bomb away. You hadn't seen them take the top off the defense. I would argue Ohio State kind of took their own top off by not having
I'm okay, thank you, baby.
But they played the
I'm about to go
game
get
that
something
was
to
put in
eat.
front of them, which is really beautiful, and it's also simple. The game that was put in front of them is Ohio State decided, we're not letting Blake Corum beat us. Now, what was funny is Blake Corum was in there for about 3 seconds, and then he's done the rest of the afternoon, and Ohio State still decided they were going to play as if to not let Blake Corum beat them. And so you got McCarthy back there, and you got the Michigan offensive brain trust saying, do we really see what we think we're seeing? Okay, like if that's what they're going to give us, we're going to do this as you're watching on B-roll. Just have guys run free in the secondary. Like, it various points yesterday looked like Alabama circa Devontae Smith and Jerry Jeudy. And this is a Michigan passing attack that, as I said, and as many of you Michigan fans had said going into this game, had left a little something to be desired. Well, it was always there. As I said Thursday, you just listened, as I'll repeat now. There are teams that have the capability to do things they just haven't done. Sometimes they choose not to do them. Sometimes, for whatever reason, they have misfired execution-wise. But that never means in a one-game scenario it couldn't happen. Texas A&M did some stuff against LSU yesterday. We hadn't seen them do all year. But it turns out they were capable of it. J.J. McCarthy, 12 of 24, 263. A lot of, I guess, the correlating stat lines outside of those explosive plays look very ordinary. But here's the thing, that doesn't matter because the explosive plays count just as much as the gain for no yards on 2nd and 2. And the explosive plays change the game. So Michigan, I so vividly remember looking at the box score, the live box score, as we're approaching the half, and they've got a 17-13 lead near the half, and they were averaging 0.1 yards per carry. If you're Ohio State, do you not have to be ecstatic about that? Because what you set out to do is exactly what's happening. You're stoning them at the line of scrimmage. Now, it turned out that that wasn't going to last. But Ryan Day even said in his postgame, felt like we fought in the first half. We liked where we had them in the first half. And yet there's Michigan. 17-13 lead. I think Ohio State led by 3 at the break. But the most stunning thing, as I said, for me to watch is not Michigan popping one big play or popping maybe one more big play. It's the total lack of any kind of adjustment. I'm not saying adjustments weren't made in theory. I'm saying on the whole, I'm saying overarching game philosophy, there was really no defensive adjustment made. and Michigan took advantage of it. It was lethal the way they took advantage of it. Recruiting matters, okay? Scheme matters and cohesion matters, but J.J. McCarthy is an elite quarterback playing back there. Donovan Edwards, when they did start to break big runs, that's an elite running back. I remember a lot of things on the show so far. I remember sitting there on our signing day show when that kid's incoming as a true freshman, and they're fighting Ohio State and Notre Dame, and they get him, and we spent like 20 minutes talking about Donovan Edwards. And you know what my DMs looked like afterwards? A disaster. We got criticized. I got criticized for talking about Donovan Edwards too much. Well, hey, Corum couldn't go yesterday. Edwards had one hand. Donovan Edwards might as well have been like a pirate, you know, with like a little hook on his other hand. Didn't matter. Because he had 2 feet. They worked just fine, and he could have run to Toledo, Ohio, if they didn't build that end zone where he physically couldn't go any further. But when he got loose, man, he really got loose. They never adjusted. They never took it away. And to Michigan's credit, they kept taking and taking and taking. There's a misconception, I think, about this team, this Michigan program, because you can go so many directions with this. I don't need to read you the box score. You know what the box score says. You know what your eyes saw yesterday. You know about the big plays through the air. You know about the big plays on the ground. You know that when Ohio State looked like they had answered and they pulled to within 1 possession, it lasted 1 play. Michigan rips another one off, and brother, that sideline exploded when that happened. I was over there. And here's the thing about Michigan, or here's a thing about Michigan. What do you think? I'll ask you before I give you my take on this. What do you think when I just say Michigan football? Is it something that's changing, or do you have a pretty set opinion on them? But I'm asking you, think in your mind. You may be watching live or watching the replay or listening to the podcast. What do you think when I say Michigan football? Because I think there's a little misconception out there because of the way they carry themselves. Confidence is not always as it seems. Let me put it that way. A lot of the attributes that you associate with confidence actually don't correlate with confidence at all. A lot of people think a confident person is really brash and really in your face, and they call themselves alphas like 4 or 5 times per hour. That's not what real confidence is. Confidence is Michigan. Confidence is Jim Harbaugh. Michigan is the most confident program in the Big Ten. Harbaugh's the most confident coach in the Big Ten. It's not because they run their mouth, they rarely do. It's not because they're very demonstrative pre-game. I still go watch them warm up yesterday. I don't think I heard any of the players say a word. That's not what confidence is. Confidence is being totally comfortable and resolute in whatever your philosophy is. And if you think about Jim Harbaugh, that comes to a T. They've been listening for years to people, honestly, like me, look at him and say, I don't think this offense is a working model college football. Look at all these other programs around you. Look at the quarterbacks they have. Look at the commanding skill talent they have. How did you ever keep up with them? You never can. There's a fine line between cerebral and stubborn, between confidence and just stupidity. Who's on the right side of it? Michigan's on the right side of it. They never flinch. That's what confidence is. That program never flinch. And not just yesterday, and not just last year. They never flinch, even if it weren't necessarily going their way. And even when there was warranted criticism, because the results weren't what they could be, they are so confident because their process is so proven that he can afford to try and get the Vikings down, fail, lose both of the team have to totally set back in the first one, chose to go a different direction at quarterback, chose to go to J.J. McCarthy at a third McNamara, and the net result is this team's better this year than it was last year, and I thought that the entire season. It was validated yesterday. That's confidence. Confidence in how many bands you put on your arm. It's not what you draw in eye black on your face. It's being able to carry yourself and not flinching because you know your way is the way. Michigan's way is the way. That's the best team in the Big Ten right now. Here's the thing about the program. The program is now proving itself potentially as the best program in the Big Ten. And I am very, very slow to ever say things like that because I got immense amounts of respect for Ohio State. One outcome in a game rarely drastically tilts my opinion of that. So it's not like I'm vastly downgrading Ohio State here. I'm going to talk about them in just a second. I just think the world of what Michigan's doing, and I think that the talent level kind of steps up on folks. I think that folks look at McCarthy, maybe up until yesterday, and you thought of him as just another Michigan quarterback. Now, people who follow recruiting, you know that's a different skill level. He possesses a different skill level. But most people don't follow it that hardcore. So you just look at McCarthy and think, hey, he's another Michigan quarterback. No, he's not. He's the best they've had up there. He's the best Harbaugh has had during his tenure there. Donovan Edwards likewise. In the backfield, they're playing without their top player yesterday, guys. And they still hang 45. They had so many points. When I was in the media scrum post-game, half the folks didn't even realize they had topped 40. They thought 38 was the number. Michigan just kind of tacked on another touchdown. Why? Because they could. Why not rip off another 80-plus yard touchdown? Ohio State had the entire table set yesterday. We talk about the winner. And I just talked about Michigan, and I'll talk about them again later in the week. But they're...
This is Paul's Painting. House painting Picasso's. Pick State Farm Small Business Insurance because his local agent is a small business owner too. Hey, Paul, how you going? We're in his corner and on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Amazon Fresh Grocery Store has such a vast selection of absolutely everything your traditional grocery store has, plus more. They have the largest variety of pre-made and pre-cooked food. So if you've never tried out Amazon Fresh before, you should definitely click the link on an Amazon Fresh store near you.
But there's also a downside to this. There's also a loser in the equation, and the loser yesterday, in emphatic fashion, was Ohio State. And what hurt...
Sandwich. Tomorrow on Fox is the final fight for the Mountain West crown. Fresno State against Boise State.
What in the fuck is that?
On Fox.
Does Yellowstone look the same today as they described in these journals 150 years ago? I'm walking in the shadow of the pioneers, following a trail they blazed. Okay, here we go.
Tomorrow on Fox. After their heroic victory against Iran, Team USA's World Cup journey continues into the knockout round. Now, Christian Pulisic leads the Stars and Stripes as they face another must-win battle with European giants, the Netherlands. USA, Netherlands. Coverage begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern live on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And catch up on any match for free on Tubi.
We are here in Las Vegas, Utah, and USC odds are on, and it will be a good battle for the Pac-12 title. Playoff hopes on the line for the Trojans.
What in the fuck are those?
USC Heisman hopeful Caleb Williams, who guys number one scoring offense in Pac-12 against the number one scoring defense of the Utah Utes. The Trojans playoff hopes rest in Caleb Williams' very capable hands. Of course, take care of those hands. So tag along with him to the nail salon. We brought along our resident USC Heisman host team.
Let's start with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has put himself right in the middle of the Heisman race. 3,000 yards throwing the football, 31 touchdowns.
Yes, sir. There he is.
All right. What do we got today?
I do my nails every week. My mom does nails, so I started off there. So it's kind of always been around me. And so I expressed my nails, and she looking at my nails like, man, we got some
Fuck is that?
You don't want to see my toes.
You have the ugliest feet in college.
think that can happen.
Never forget this story. So we were in the training one day, and he was getting his
Because
ankles
everybody's
taped, and
safe.
some of the boys were like, "Damn, Reg, you got some nasty ass feet." Reggie said, "Well, these feet just ran for 2,000 yards. Just won y'all a Heisman." Remember that? I was rolling.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
You really putting in work like that on the field. They're not supposed to always look great. Oh, man.
How about the emotion from Caleb Williams?
You got a chance to experience that UCLA-USC rivalry, man.
The emotion of that game, to me, it felt like a statement game for you.
Yeah, all week we talked about it. I mean, there was also a lot of talk going on from the other side, especially when we finally got to the game. We were able to, unleash all of that pent up kind of anger.
Caleb Williams, you have to consider this young man for the Heisman Trophy.
Plasma balls?
Enough to win the 6th Heisman at USC. I played with that man right next to you, who's the baddest man to ever play college football. Won the 7th Heisman. What would it mean to you to be the 8th Heisman Trophy winner at USC?
It'd be pretty cool. I can't lie, it would be pretty cool. My thing was that, like, your jersey's retired, your jersey's retired because of national championships and winning. And if I am able to do it, like,
No one can get hurt by this.
retired. That was a crazy. Like the Heisman, I think I'm the best player in college football.
I've believed the same thing, Big Dog.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, when we talk about
Burning your brain.
your team and to the success of their team.
Honest question, what's it like to be fast? Dude, I was a statue in the pocket.
5 Bills, the young man.
That's fun.
Both left and right hemisphere.
You are a superstar, whether you know it or not. You know what I'm saying? And now leading you here.
Both sides of my hemisphere.
Championship and playing for playoffs.
It's awesome, honestly, to be in this position, to be able to help the Trojans be in this position.
Make your case for USC to be one of those top 4 teams when it's all said and done.
I think it was Coach Grinch who said, a book or story will never be a great book or a great story without some adversity in it. So we've had that. We've been down. We've been up. We want to finish the story off the right way. Win the playoffs and win out.
Yes, sir. Let's go, man.
Thank you for taking care of our nails.
I'm happy. Thank God you didn't ask me to take my shoes off. And believe me, we won't ask to see your toes up. We want to see the hands, though. We get our nails done. We did get our nails done. Let's see. Nice hand massage. Is that a cute? They're gonna beat up right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we do need to get a little lotion. We need a little lotion for Reggie to make his hands stay dry right there, bro. I'm gonna look out for you. Let's see it. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about Caleb, though.
Secure.
He dominated 438 yards, 5 touchdowns over the season. He's going to be the Heisman Trophy winner more than likely. So how does Utah slow him down tonight?
I don't think they can. He's just that good. You have to figure out ways to contain him in the pocket. But I do want to say this, and this can't be forgotten. It's a really good running football team. If you go back to Lincoln Riley's tenure at Oklahoma, he had the #1 rushing offense in the Big 12, #5 rushing offense amongst Power 5 teams. That helps a quarterback. And we know all his quarterbacks can run, Caleb Williams can run, but the zone read, the RPO, the play action, all those things. That also doesn't allow defenses to just rush 3, drop 8, spy. So you have to account for the run. That's one thing. But he is just a tremendous playmaker, and I wish we could play all the unique plays that he does, but it's normal for him. He did it against Notre Dame last week. He had multiple plays against Utah. Every single week, he just has those plays that you just say, wow, how do you do that? He's the only person on this planet that I feel like that can do that, whether it's throwing or running the football, and that's what Utah has to deal with tonight.
Yeah, I spoke to the University of Utah staff a couple times, and if you're preparing for a drop back only quarterback, you can stop him. You can stop. There's very few great drop back quarterbacks. If you're preparing for just an athletic quarterback, you can stop him. One that can do both, like this guy, you can't. The one thing you have to do is contain him, force him to be a pocket player. And here's how you do this: you keep the edges contained. With that comes a cost. You take defensive ends and not allow them a two-way go. That slows down a pass rush.
Come on, TV on or off?
Where are you going?
Oh my God.
They want Caleb in the pocket. If they feel like
I'll leave it on you.
You want this or?
Yeah, please look.
expecting to buck up those linebackers in the line of scrimmage.
You see the new ones?
How it kind of looks like a cross with everything things in the middle.
Yeah, it looks all blotchy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
I see 'em. Clean your damn lens. It'll be no more.
All right. No.
Sure?
Yes. Okay. Leave it open, yeah?
What team has done the best job against Caleb this season?
Oregon State. If you go back to Oregon State on the road, and I actually talked to their coaches that week, and they were out-coached in that game because Oregon State did a lot of things post-snap. They brought corners and DBs off the edge to keep them in there. They had a great pass rush, and then they played that show coverage. You do that, you just don't give up the big play. That's easier said than done. Utah is a really good defensive team. This is what they've been for the last decade. They're going to have some type of answer for Caleb Williams today.
Number one overall, number one scoring defense in the Pac-12 this season. See if they can contain Caleb Williams and the rest of this USC offense. It is loud here in Allegiant Stadium. I don't know if you guys noticed. The Pac-12 has not sent a team to the playoff in 6 years. Will USC be the ones to finally break through and end that drought? The Pac-12 championship coming up next on Fox.
Signaling into J-Mar Smith all the play calls. First down. Pressure from everywhere. Marlon Williams. Running room. Slips a couple of tackles. Big run by Williams. All the way to the house.
Streamlined and to the point. Pair that with a passion for standout stories you won't see anywhere else. That's what makes the Fox 11 News at 10 the ones to watch.
Toyotathon is on with great year-end deals on your favorite Toyotas. Best stocking stuffer ever.
Now during Toyotathon, lease a stylish new Corolla for just $299 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Jack, the data shows that people love our more flavorful ultimate cheeseburgers.
Show me the data. So the data's good.
The data's real good.
Honestly, it's the best data I've ever had.
My best-selling ultimate cheeseburgers. Now seasoned as they grill.
Spectrum is heating up the nation with Spectrum One.
Spectrum is offering seamless connectivity at an incredible price. Get Spectrum One with 300 megabit internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited roaming for $49.99 a month. Is Spectrum internet really fast?
Indeed, with speeds up to a gig and over 99.9% network reliability.
So how reliable is Spectrum One?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
Call 1-855-287-7075 or visit the Spectrum store today.
Get Spectrum One now.
And that's the feeling of free medium fries when you buy a Big Mac or any crispy chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A big reminder. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is over $300 million. Play now.
I gotta be honest, you guys have really let yourselves go. Con, you literally have skirted, bro.
Postmates order for last year?
Oh, that's me. So starting today, we're gonna be on my new personal record of citrus quinoa salad. Because this is the year of health and wellness.
What about pillaging?
Oh, we're gonna be pillaging.
Everything changes when you hit the spot. Postmates. For $30 off your first 3 orders of $35 or more, use code LA30.
My favorite time of year is finally here. Toyotathon is on. Who's crafty?
Gear up for the holidays with a Toyota truck or SUV that's just right for you. Toyota, let's go places.
Mr. Box, I had this idea.
Is it offering people curly fries, tiny tacos, and my other fan favorites in one box for just $10? Great idea, damn it. Run with it. That go back? A $10 fan hate spot is perfect for sharing.
Tonight in Las Vegas, the Pac-12 champion will be crowned with a playoff spot on the line for USC. Can Utah take down the Trojans for a second time this season? We'll find out next on Fox.
And
Out here in the wild, wild west is a
the sky.
for the Angels, led by one of the most gifted players in the land.
Lost them, and obviously hurt. And are we glad that it's Utah again? Yeah, of course.
Standing in their way is a familiar foe who's already proven it can match its opponent's every move.
It's difficult to beat a team twice in a season, especially a team of the caliber of USC.
This is how the West will be won. The Pac-12 championship game is next. Hey, we're ready for it. We know this guy's ready for it. He's been ready all season long. This is a bad man. Your likely Heisman winner, Caleb Williams. At least 3 touchdowns in 6 straight games. He's named that Heisman.
That's what this guy's gonna look like.
To the playoffs, but this guy has something to say about USC winning early in the season. Cam Rising, 415 yards in their first matchup of the season. A Utah win. Utah, USC next right here on Fox. Wendy's, the delivery to kick off. Get a meal that always delivers it. Wendy's, $5 Big Bag. USC band about to take the field. We are ready for some football here at Legion Stadium. That is what they're playing for right there. The Pac-12 championship. Utah trying to win it for a second straight year. USC, well, this is the first time since 2017, but of course they got bigger goals in mind. Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, Matt Light, Urban Meyer, ready to go. It's that time. Utah, USC, Brady, I need a key matchup this week.
All right, so me, it's Jordan Addison, the wide receiver, outstanding wide receiver for USC. He's going to be going up at times tonight versus Utah's outstanding cornerback, Clark Phillips. You know, Jordan Addison was a Blitnikoff winner just a year ago for the best receiver in college football. He's tied for the league in touchdowns in the Pac-12, receiving touchdowns, that is. When they need a big play, that's who Caleb Williams is looking for downfield. At the flip side, you know, they'll use Clark Phillips in a variety of ways. They'll punch off the edge, but use him out wide, and at times, too, they'll be able to help out a little bit in run support. But both these two guys are big-time playmakers. It's a matchup to keep an eye on, especially if Utah brings much pressure.
And then I'm watching Dalton Kincaid. He literally destroyed USC's defense last time they played. 16 receptions, 234 yards, and a touchdown. That can't happen again against USC if they want to win this game. They got to get hands on him, coach. You got to get hands on him, and you got to hit him when he gets the football. But listen, Dalton Kincaid leads the team in scrimmage yards, touchdown season. 8 touchdowns. You cannot let this guy drop out of your sight.
He's there. Yes, it is.
Tui Pelotu, the Scotty's a Nagurski Award finalist, first team All-American, second in the country in sacks. Him in that front right there, and this is just what he does. The pressure, he alters plays, the rhythm and timing of offense. He's not the biggest guy, he's not the most explosive guy, but he's got a relentless motor, man, and it's paid off. He has had a heck of a season. This Utah offensive line's only given up 8. All season long, Thule and that group, they have to get after Cam Rising tonight.
Brady, last time this team's played, Utah had their way with USC. It was on air. It was averaging 7 yards, almost 300 yards and a half. So I think the matchup I'm going to watch is USC defensive coordinator Alex Grinch against Utah offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig. This is personal. You give up those many yards or loss. Alex Grinch is on my staff. He's a great football coach. You watch him tonight. He's taking his personal. He's going to have his thumbprint all over the game tonight.
And once again, Kincaid is in uniform. He did warm up. He is a game-time decision, so we shall see if he's able to play tonight. Remember, Tavion Thomas opted out of this game. He's getting ready for the NFL draft.